And
Yeah.
it has really helped me to deal with situations at home, and even with Sahana, like the way she behaves and all that. I'm able to understand. So it has been very, very helpful for me
What's
overall.
your favorite coping skill? Which is your favorite coping skill?
Oh, it's the hand.
Wonderful. I think
Yeah.
that's one of the simplest ones, basically.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of us, even I share that with anybody I talk to, especially when
Okay.
somebody calls me and sounds stressed out.
Hmm.
Patients also, I share that with them. I take that extra 2 minutes and I share, make them draw it on a piece of paper and I explain.
Okay.
I
But after
family
doing that
members.
hand, like it has helped me a lot.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Great. What
And I
about
think,
you? Tell me, Shantala.
I think everything is fine. You don't need to change anything. Maybe you should conduct more workshops.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, dear.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, you, Sita. What about you?
Yes, ma'am, it's the same as Shantala has mentioned. It has really changed a lot the way I address to, I welcome a day, and as situations come, I mean, a step-by-step analysis has helped. Each tool is being used in a step-by-step analysis of solving an issue. Need not be any problem, but anything that comes from, like you share regarding the cooking, planning the menu, or anything, and especially with my daughter, everything has changed. And yes, ma'am, I would just love to attend more if possible and keep in touch with you. I have few words. I would like to read them out at the end of the session, ma'am.
Done. Perfect.
Yeah,
Who
thank
else wants to share?
I just wanted to share.
Yeah,
I think I missed the first session. I joined in the second session, and I think at the end of it, I wanted to know the average age of the group. So I thought maybe it is targeted to young mums and all. And I was like, I'm not sure what I'm doing here. Is it? But you know what? Thereafter, it's been so insightful. And certain things we already do, like analyzing a particular situation. But when Dr. Parul or Dr. Aruna or Anaga, they explain it to you in a certain way, it gets registered in your mind in a it's never going to go. It's going to be there. And I have scribbled a lot of things I think I'll be referring to as in when I need to. And yes, it's been an amazing experience. And like Sita said, I would love to be part of your future workshops.
Perfect. See, this actually, we started out reaching out to parents who have been part of our parenting groups. And that would mean parents of small children and even parents of teenagers.
Yes.
But you would have noticed as we have gone ahead with the program, there are quite a few of my friends. My sister has joined, my friend Shilpa has joined. So basically, you're a midpoint. You're not the youngest or the oldest. You're a midpoint. So I feel with coping, or learning to cope in life is a skill which all of us need at all age groups.
Yes.
And so, and when you interact with more people, and you realize that all of us are in the same boat, because the weather out there and the sea out there is the same for most of us today with COVID, right? It may be different in other times. Then how do we use our skills is what this program is about. And that's very nice. Thank you. Then any suggestions?
I also think I just wanted a feedback from everybody.
Yeah.
How much of this program you all thought was for, only mothers, and how much of it helped you even as a person?
Absolutely. As a person on an individual level also, I think whatever we've learned.
Yes, as I said, yes, I attended especially as a parent to improve my parenting skill. But on the whole, every situation is just the same. The way we analyze it and the way we address things. So it has changed the whole life, because life is just a series of situations. So that's what I can add, Anagha.
And I shared a lot of my learning with my close friends And neighbors, whatever I found, like, I used to be very excited. I would go and blather, we did this, this how it works, this how we should do. And I thought it was, it's a chain. You learn and you pass on the information, which can help other people also. So I feel through the program, you are not only reaching out to us, as we share the learning with other people also benefit, whoever is in our environment.
That's what we want. It should be a chain reaction. It should reach out to more people. Anybody else who's there to in the gallery?
Yeah.
I can't see everyone.
Hi, Sangeeta here.
Hi,
Can you hear
Sangeeta.
me? Hi, good afternoon. Sorry for the delay. Yeah. So I joined the program very late. I think only the last 4 sessions, because I got to know from Parul, and I must thank Parul for introducing me to this group. And, I'm really happy that I was a part of the program. For me, it was like joining the dots. You see, at the back of the mind, you know a lot of things, but very seldom do you practice it. So this was like revisiting all those things that, we did know about how to handle situations, but we don't really apply. And then when we don't apply, it's not sharpened. It's a skill that is not sharpened. So thank you for bringing me back to refocus. And I joined not only for dealing with this pandemic issue with a teenager at home. I joined it for myself because this pandemic taught me a lot of things, and joining this group made me realize that I'm not the only one who's going through the different emotions at this point of time. But how do you channelize it, and how do you use it? So I would definitely want to be part of more such programs. I really appreciate the effort the entire team has put up, including the yoga techniques, the calming techniques. Thank you so much, sir, for teaching that. Aruna, you've been a fantastic moderator, I must say, and always on top of the situation. Parul and Anaga, thank you for your insights, which was wonderful and really helped me a lot. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. So now we are about 11 people. Should we start with Sir?
Yeah, I think we should.
Yeah. So today, now the point is, even when I was young, I used to do a lot of programs, and very often after attending a program, like after attending many of our conferences, you're on a high for 3-4 days. Okay. And then after 3-4 days, you actually don't remember anything, or you may remember just 1 or 2 things. And that is why what we thought is today we'll sort of summarize as to what all we have discussed and how are you going to actually use it in your day-to-day life. Okay, each one of you could do it a little differently, but we're just trying to put, as she said, getting the dots, joining the dots together so that you can sort of understand how you can use it. See, if in fact, in all my parenting workshops, the workshops that I do, I am looking at techniques and skills which are very applicable. In my understanding, something which is applicable is what should be discussed and we should interact on, because complicated things will just go off our brain very fast. Okay. So the same thing with yoga. Now 9 sessions, we have done different things about yoga. I want to ask Sir, I have about 10-15 minutes in the morning and I can spare another 10 minutes in the evening. So that means I'm talking about 20 to 30 minutes a day. So if doing yoga for about 20 to 30 minutes a day, the mindfulness as well as the yoga practice, is it going to benefit me or benefit any one of us?
Yes. To benefit each one of us when you practice mindfulness and yoga. So I'm listed some points to practice as a daily practice. So first thing is start each day with positive thoughts. Start each day with positive thoughts. So start yoga with prayer or a meditation. So meditate or be with yourself for a while, or prepare yourself for yoga, for sitting or concentrating on your breath, or what we did, that concentrating on the sounds, observing the sounds. So do that for 5 minutes or 2 to 3 minutes. And before starting or practicing asanas or Surya Namaskar, practice some loosen exercise. So warm up your body before practicing Surya Namaskar or any type of asana. So while main thing is, as you practice Surya Namaskar or asana, don't hold the breath. So do not hold the breath while practicing asana or Surya Namaskar. And main thing is, do not force beyond your capacity. So do as your body is, so do with your own body. So don't force yourself. And main thing is, don't compare with others. So don't compare with others. Others are doing that much and that much, 50 or 100 Surya Namaskar, had to do 100. So don't try that. So try to listen to your body and practice at least 6 Surya Namaskar daily. Learn with experienced yoga teacher. So don't go for YouTube and don't practice with yourself. And practice after practicing Surya Namaskar, practice 5 minutes of Kapal Bhati and 5 minutes of Nadi Shodhan Pranayam. And after all this, so at least 2 to 3 minutes of Shavasana. So just lie down and relax yourself. So this is it will take 2 to 15 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that means you start with a prayer.
Prayer
do a little bit
meditation.
of a meditation, then you
loosening or warm up exercise, or you can walk, brisk walk.
Okay.
Surya Namaskar and asanas. Then, and pranayam.
Pranayam, and then lastly do at least 2 minutes of Shavasana, 2 to 3 minutes, and this will take us 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So I have another 5-10 minutes in the evening. What should I do, sir? So, and you know, after yoga, I have to rush to the kitchen. I have work, then I have to get ready for my online work because I'm a working woman. By the end of the day, I'm physically and mentally exhausted. But I have 10 minutes on hand. What should I do in the evening, sir?
Sir, Surya Namaskar is a tool, madam. So you can take Surya Namaskar as a loosening practice, as a dynamic practice, as a Surya Namaskar. You can do slow Surya Namaskar 6 rounds, slowly.
Okay.
Slow Surya Namaskar. So if you are experienced with Surya Namaskar, I recommend you to close your eyes and practice Surya Namaskar. It will do a wonders.
Okay.
Closing your eyes and practice Surya Namaskar.
Perfect. So do you think this is possible? All participants?
Yes. All participants is not possible. That's what
will they be able to do it? Like, do you think you could spare 15 minutes in the morning and another 5 to 10 minutes in the evening for benefit that yoga will give us?
I would definitely love, I would definitely love to do the calming exercise, the yoga that sir has taught, because I really, when I was doing it that day, I felt extremely good. So definitely that's going to be on the agenda, 100%. The rest I will try.
Yeah, I think, sir, we'll run through that little calming towards the end today, because I think all of us really liked it, where you had asked us to focus on things outside ourselves. That was a very nice experience. But again, it was also probably because we had your commentary. So I'm just wondering, anyway, today it's all getting recorded. Let's see if that makes a difference when people are wanting to do it later. Okay. So I think that's amazing. And we'll come back to Srinath again to understand, to do one little 3-minute session of the mindfulness. Okay. Now, who would, Parul is in and Anaga is in. Hello, Parul, good morning. We wake her up early morning, 6 o'clock, 5:30. I don't know if she's there right now or maybe her video is off.
Good morning,
Who's
Dr.
on to get
Aruna.
the coffee?
Good morning, everyone.
She's
Good
there.
morning.
Hi,
Good morning,
Parul.
Parulji.
I hope you have your cup of tea or coffee with you.
Yes, I'm good.
Okay, wonderful. So, Parul, between you and Anaga, one of you share all the quickly, the coping skills we have done, and the other one I thought, in fact, maybe one of you do the sailboat initially, focusing on what we need to understand about ourselves, and then talk
Sure.
about coping skills. Either of you do whichever way you want, and then we
Sure.
try to put everything together. Yes, who's going to do it? Parul, Anaga?
Anagha, would you like to summarize all the things we have done, and maybe I could do the sailboat, or?
Yeah, I would do that. I will do
Yeah.
the coping skills and you can take up the sailboat.
And should she do the sailboat first, Anaga?
Yeah, we'll do the sailboat
Yeah,
first.
we'll do the
Parul,
sailboat.
do you want me to share the screen?
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah. Just give me a moment.
I don't know if I made you the co-host.
Make me the co-host. You haven't yet made me the co-host.
That's what I realized. I've not made you the co-host yet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, Anaga.
Yeah. I'm just getting this.
Yeah, no problem.
No worries.
Yeah. Can everybody see it?
Yes.
Yes, Parul.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So this is a recent activity. I think it was very well summarized by Dr. Aruna also last time when she had made the video, and I think it provided us with a deeper understanding. And here, sailboat is used as a metaphor for us. And just like how a sailboat, when the experience changes depending on the weather and the environment and your expertise. Same way, we have different elements that can influence our day-to-day life. So there are certain elements which are outside our control, such as the water, the weather, or the other boats. So when we are talking about the water or the weather, we're talking about, what is the reality, what's going on in our day-to-day life. When we're talking about the weather, we're talking about things that are outside our control. So just like COVID, right now we took COVID as the, the uncontrollable circumstance. And we talked about how it is making a difference and how each one of us is trying to cope. We are trying to reach out to other boards, which are other people, peers. The support group is another board example. And so these are the things that are outside our control, but they play a role in how we navigate the waters. The other components that are within our control. So and if we take care of these components and we work on it, then we have a pleasant experience. So no matter what happens, we are able to sail through it, any experience. So when we are talking about the inner components, we were talking about the steering wheel, which is what is your personal goals and values, because that is going to give us a meaningful direction. Otherwise, we are going to be just bobbing around in the water based on what's happening around us. So for example, when it's COVID, there's a lot of fear, and we are, accessing a lot of online media. We are reading the news. We are hearing personal stories of people. We can, get lost. So but if we have a steering wheel and we know what is our values, what is it that we want, what is it we want to aim for, then it gives us, a more clearer picture about what we can do and what we can't do. So we need to address the leaks, because each one of us is going to have some things which, we may struggle with. So sometimes we have, we may be struggling in a mental health area, we might be struggling in physical health area,
or maybe we're struggling emotionally, or we have skills which are outdated. So for example, something that worked for us earlier as a teenager doesn't work for us as a young adult. What works for us as a young adult may not necessarily work as a middle-aged adult, which were, and then what works for us as a middle-aged adult may not necessarily work for us in older age, because we have to adapt. So it is constantly an evolution is going on. And so we need to address the leaks. Now, the most important thing is that we need to remember is not to overemphasize on one component, but try to look at the other overall picture also. So we need to have short-term goals where we are addressing what needs to be resolved, as well as we have to look at long-term goals. So when we are talking about sales can help us understand what is our strength, what are the resources available, and then adjust according to the situation and the needs. So if you're a young parent, your needs are very different compared to a parent who's having teenager children. Or you have, maybe you're trying to get back to work. So your situation is going to be very, very different. So we need effective coping skills. So Anika will go more into detail about, what are these. I'll just briefly mention one statement, whether these coping skills are helping us or helping us build up, or they're breaking us down. So because we don't realize, because a lot of our patterns and thinking and our responses have become automatic, and that's how we operate. But when we take stock of them on periodic time, they help us understand whether we are coping well or not. Then we talk about the compass. What is it that, the feedback we are giving to us? So there may be these automatic thoughts that are getting created within us, but we need to understand whether they are helping us, build up, or they're breaking us down. So getting the feedback, because we can be at times overwhelmed by certain emotions or certain kind of thoughts, but creating distance allows us to look at them more objectively rather than just reacting to it. Understanding what is it that what is our destination at the end of the day, what is it that we are wanting, what are our wishes, what are our goals. So when we are looking at each component, it helps us to give us a blueprint about our life. And then once we have that clarity, we can pick an element or two elements and see whether we are heading towards the destination that we have aimed for, or we are scattered. And it's okay, from time to time think we will lose our balance, but as long as we have the sailboat in front of us, this metaphor, it's easy for us to plug away the leaks, adjust our sails, and get back on our track. Another component about the sailboat that's not mentioned here is the anchor. And last time we talked about the anchor and this lighthouse, how you can seek out certain professionals to act as a lighthouse who will provide us with information about our environment, and it is short term. So they don't tell us what to do. We eventually decide what is our goal going to be. But the lighthouse shares their knowledge, their experience, and they give us a lay of the land. So we also talked about how to decide when it's time to reach out for a lighthouse. So any professional, whether it's a pediatrician or a psychologist or a counselor, or maybe some adult who's like a role model to you. So reaching out to them and assessing when things are going overboard. So we talked about how the categories are based on duration in terms of like how long you've been experiencing difficulty. Typically, we talked about 2 to 3 weeks. If you're having some, behaviors like increased irritability, lack of sleep, you're out of routine with your eating, whether you're overeating or undereating, you have a lot of inappropriate anger, inappropriate sadness, inappropriate irritability, then it's time to consult the lighthouse. And we also talked about how the symptoms could be mild, moderate, or severe. So we talked about none of the times, some of the times, half of the times, and most of the times. So, when you have this, like I said, when you have this image around you, you can write down the different parts. And so that then you have a much more clearer picture about what is it that needs to change, whether it is internal changes you have to make, and how much of external control you can exert. So for example, talking to other boards, or, whether it's a support group, or, reaching out and looking at videos which provide learning, because we know that emotional resilience comes. For emotional resilience, we need very, very basic things. We need routine. So eating and sleeping at regular time, exercising, and doing meditation, which sir has talked about, and also looking at gratitude. So gratitude is a big component, which is the easiest key for us to look at happiness. So I think I hope this helps summarize all the parts. I rushed. I want to give Anagha the chance, because these topics overlap, so I don't want to take away things from what she has to add to it. And then we want to hear everybody's experience, and if there are, how everybody felt. So I'll hand it over to Anagha.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Parul.
Parul. Thank you so much. That was wonderful.
Thanks.
What I would like to start with is an analogy. So all of us have stress in our lives, and this stress is like a hot cup of coffee. So if I ask you to hold the hot cup of coffee, which is filled to the brim with piping hot coffee, you're going to be able to hold it for say 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. And once it starts getting into hours and days and weeks and months, obviously there's going to be some amount of stress on these muscles. And that is how our stress is like. Of course, we all need a piping hot cup of coffee, and that is the stress, the good stress, which is required for us to get motivated, which is required for us to get out of bed and get going. But if that amount of stress increases a little bit and is held on to, it is going to get difficult. So what we've learned basically is how to let go of that stress, how to understand that I have the power to keep this cup of coffee down, and how to actually keep it down. Okay. So with that analogy, we will just go through whatever coping skills we learned. We learned to count our blessings. We learned gratitude. Yeah. We learned how to be grateful by doing little things, like Dr. Aruna had given an example of how she helped her domestic helps. Someone gave an example of how they cooked and served people who were suffering from COVID. Many others went out. Community service, we saw people coming together as a community and helping each other out. Dr. Abhinav had made a comment that it is because of Indian citizens that the system is still up there. Otherwise, all systems were close to collapse at a point of time, right? So we learned gratitude. We learned how to be resilient by focusing on what we have, by gathering strengths from other boats, by being a part of such groups which help us, which hear us out, which allow us a safe place to exhibit or express our fears and worries. Okay. The other thing we learned was how to get rid of this kind of stress and worry and all of that, how to keep the cup down by some artfully mindful techniques, right? So all mindful techniques are basically a vehicle for us to bring our mind back to here and now. All worry, all anxiety arises from fortune telling, future telling, right? So we are not in the present when we are thinking about the future. A lot of it is based on assumptions. What if this happens? What if that happens? Okay, and as human beings, we are all prone to think. It is called the negative bias. We are all prone to think about the negatives. Okay, we make our decisions also based on things that are negative. If you hear that statistically this car meets with an accident more than the other car, even if the other car costs a few bucks more, you will end up buying the other car, right? Because you have data which proves this car is safer than the other car. Okay, so to keep ourselves mindfully aware of our surroundings, to be in the here and now, Dr. Parul taught us the hand exercise, where you run finger around your hands and bring yourself back. Srinath sir has taught us many, many more techniques which will help us to keep our mind in the here and now. Artfully, whatever we learned doodles and Zentangles, and we spoke about mandalas. Those are also techniques which will help you get into a flow, express yourself without any pressure, and try to remain in the here and now. Now, what is the advantage of all of this? If we are able to do all of, we also learned about self-care. It was a very hot topic and everybody became very excited when we were talking about self-care and how it is important for me to first take care of my boat or put on my oxygen mask and then help others, right? So how does it help us? The whole advantage of doing this is to gain clarity of thought, right? And if we are able to keep ourselves calm in situations which cause a lot of distress, we will end up being more in control of the situation, and the decisions that we take will automatically be right decisions. Now, how does this happen? We train the brain by using these coping techniques, meditation, exercise, art, or whatever is comfortable to you. And while we are doing this, our neurons are firing. So we said that neurons which fire together, wire together. So slowly your brain gets used to a more calm kind of a environment here. So whenever you are faced with hurdles or distress, your brain is able to automatically fire in a more productive way, which allows you to not panic and take more informed and better decisions. You perceive yourself to be in better control, and therefore the emotional upheaval is also to a certain extent controlled. Okay, did I make sense or was I all over the place?
No, no, you made a lot of sense, but I just wanted you to add a little more. We had also done, if you remember, the pie diagram where you had,
yes,
was a
self-care.
statement you had made of small baby steps. So could you revisit that?
Sure,
Because I think that's
I
an
will.
important one. Yeah.
Correct. So under self-care, we had said that it is absolutely essential for all of us to draw out some amount of me time from our day, right? And when we are saying, "मेरे पास time ही नहीं है," it is actually a racket. If we look at it, if you look at it from a third person's perspective, I think there is about at least 15 to 20 minutes that we can draw from whatever we are doing in our day and invest it in ourselves. So what we did was we made a pie chart, okay? And we divided the pie chart into sections, and the larger section was equal to the amount of time you spent in doing that particular thing. So say if you are spending a lot of time on your job, you say work, and then so on and so forth, household activities, TV watching, social media, talking to friends, taking care of others, fretting over your family's dinner and choices. And then we decided what is the head from which I can draw about 15 minutes. Okay, so minimum change in my day, and invest those 15 minutes in doing something that will make a maximum impact on my lifestyle. Okay, so suppose I could draw 15 minutes from social media or TV serial time and invest in my society, or doing a little bit of yoga techniques that Srinath sir has taught us. How will it make an impact on me and my family, right? So the only fact that I was able to do what I thought of doing is very fulfilling. Whatever activity you do has its own benefits, which are different. So let us keep those benefits aside. But the very fact that I was able to execute something that I planned is quite fulfilling. And we heard that from a lot of participants when we did this activity. And they came back to us saying that, yes, it was very fulfilling. It was very empowering as mothers, because our culture does not allow us to take care of ourselves. And that is why I think Geeta ma'am had asked me, there's a very thin line between self-care and selfishness, she said.
Yes.
I said when you put your needs before someone else's needs or someone else's comfort, that is self-care. But when you are putting your comfort or your luxuries before someone else's needs, then that becomes selfishness.
That's
So
super.
you don't
That,
want to be
yes.
selfish. Yeah.
The way your description is super. Parul, you want to add anything here?
Thank you.
No, I think Anika has summarized it really well. It's again the reiteration of what we have been discussing.
Yes.
We when we are panicking, we are not thinking. We are just reacting. And what the whole goal of this support group is to shift from being reactive to becoming proactive. Take a small element, small component of your life that you want to, be proactive about, because there are a lot of things that are going to be outside our control. So that brings me to the activity which Anaga had mentioned, where we had taken at the outline of our hand, and when we had talked about things that are within the hand and which were outside. So those are small changes which make a significant difference. And I just wanted to quote, actually there was a study done by a neuroscientist where she studied she took MRIs of the brain to study how yoga and positive thinking makes a difference in your life, because she was wondering whether it's really true or not. So being a neuroscientist, she decided to study all the images of the people who were being proactive about their life. And there was actually, at the end of 6 weeks, there was an actual difference in the structure of the brain. So the gray area, she could see the changes. So we had earlier talked about the primitive brain, or the amygdala, which is the reactive part of our brain. And that density had reduced thanks to people doing mindful meditation and exercising. So she could tell there was actual evidence that your brain changes based on what we are doing. So it's a sobering thought, just to understand that just because something is not visible externally doesn't mean that it doesn't exist, because not all of us can have that luxury of studying our brains. But studies have shown, so we can take lesson from the study and understand that how our brains can change based on any commitment that we make. So we typically advise people to take up any commitment for at least 6 to 8 weeks, because we know that's when we are planting the seeds for new behavior, new lifestyle, new thinking. And then what you will notice is, it's not that you will not have negative thoughts or you will not have bad days, you will not panic, but you will bounce sooner. That's what we are talking about. We are talking about a shift where you may panic. So maybe earlier you would be panicking more frequently, so the frequency might reduce, or you might notice that you're panicking for a shorter duration. And this is what we are aiming for. It's not elimination. We want everyone to be aware that we are not creating a bubble wrap around us. It is just that we are developing resilience. We are aiming to shift our outlook, our coping mechanisms, our thinking, our lifestyles. And if we start making a shift, we don't have to bother about anything else. We will reach our destination. So destination may not be visible at times. Sometimes it's very clear. So depending on where you are, you have to just make the shift. And as long as we begin the journey, I think this, as we're coming to the end of this program, I think we have all began the journey. So if you look back from what we started with on the first day of the session, and today is the last day of the session, we all have shifted. We have all shifted slightly, and we've began the journey. And now all we have to do is just continue the journey.
Wonderful. So yeah. I would put it this way, that one is, you need to understand yourself. You need to know your weaknesses, your strengths, as Parul had mentioned. And once you know your weaknesses, you know your strengths, you're going to use all your mindfulness activities and your coping skills, which were discussed by both Anaga and Parul, to help you move ahead. See, nothing is going to change overnight. The weather is going to be bad on occasional days. The sea is going to be bad. Events will keep happening. All this will go on. But what is happening is, once I recognize myself and I am equipped with certain coping skills, I'm just going to be able to bounce back or develop resilience, as Parul said. And that is what this whole program is about. Now, but having done this, all this, that is, okay, you have developed resilience, you have learned skills, you know how to do this, all that is great. How are you going to share this with your family? How are you going to help your children learn this from you, or your spouse also, anyone? So there, I think, let's just go back to our basic parenting skills. And in fact, it's not only your children and your spouse. In fact, even friends, as you were saying, you share it with your friends as well. How could you be sharing all this with someone? The best way to share is modeling this behavior. Model the behavior, what you have learned. You have learned how to deal with a stress. You have learned a coping mechanism where, bad news doesn't affect you that much. Model that behavior. If it is your children, your teenagers or youngsters at home, you need to teach them about it. But how do you teach? No teenager likes to be told and told and told. We all know that. All of you, many of you have teenagers, including Parul as a teenage daughter. You cannot tell her what to do. But if you ask her and you ask questions and she tells you, gives her idea, her understanding of a situation, she's going to accept it better. So the second tool is, we're going to teach our children by not telling them, but by asking them and by getting them involved in the conversation. And suppose your child too, or your spouse too, shows a good coping mechanism or shows a good resilience, give positive messages. Hey, you're really dealing very well. Huh? You got the news that your dad is not doing very well, but you're really dealing with that news very well. That's what you would tell your husband, even, because now, as a couple, every day you're getting news from some side. Some uncle is admitted, some aunt is admitted, somebody is seriously ill. All of us are going through this. So even if you're able to give this little soft positive message, either to your spouse or to your child, you're doing a great job. That's really very, very good. And children do extremely well, especially teenagers, when you acknowledge that they're doing well. What are the other things? So we have talked about modeling, teaching, messaging. Third, by focusing forward. This is something we've been talking in this program also. So what is forward focusing? In the news, there are hundreds of things that come up. What are we going to discuss at home? Did you know there's more vaccine available in the city? Some countries are almost COVID-free. Like Parul is better off than us. She doesn't have to worry about going to a restaurant today. Nor, in fact, they may say you don't need to wear a mask, but I'm sure she's yet using one. But what I'm trying to say is, the US started before us. They started in Jan and they're in a good situation. We are also vaccinating in India, though maybe our numbers are not as big. But we were a few months behind them. Probably end of the year, we're going to see light at the end of the tunnel. So when you talk about positive things, you focus on good things, and you do this at home with your family and children, is just going to bring out what we had done, the wishing board and the wishing tree, right? Parul and Anaga,
Yeah.
where you start focusing on what you're going to do.
Wishful thing.
Wishful, yes, at the end of this session. At the end of this COVID. And lastly, and most importantly, for parents, especially with small children, learn to listen to your children. If you are having stress and you are finding it difficult to cope today, so is your 6-year-old and so is your 16-year-old. But are we having the time to listen to them? So don't keep telling them things. Please listen to them. And when it comes to small children, like Sita as a small child, what we say is, come to their level. sit down and be at her eye level. You must have eye contact. You can't be 2 feet taller than her and look down upon her and talk. Come down to their height, have an eye contact, and listen to them. What happens when you listen to children, or even if you listen to your husband? I don't know about y'all, but I'm very impatient when it comes to listening to my husband very often. And after that, after doing it, I realized, oh, I didn't really listen properly. But when you listen properly, what happens is that the person who was talking believes, hey, you know what I feel and what I say is important to this person. So if it is your child feels, my mama cares for what I'm feeling. My mama cares for what I am saying. And the moment the child feels that, their self-esteem will soar. So we can share everything we have learned by just using these simple techniques with people at home and even with our friends with whom we interact on a day-to-day basis. Anything you want to add, Parul, Anaga?
Yeah, I have something to add.
Yes, please.
I just wanted to tell everybody that Parul mentioned the amygdala. So the size of amygdala in our brain is about a peanut.
Yeah.
So this whole exercise was to keep this peanut in control. How does it sound? Right. But I want to leave you with two thoughts, and I've written them down here so that I don't forget. One is, you are more than the roles that you play. So it is very important for us to take care of ourselves. And the other, since we are taking the sailboat metaphor, you are the captain of your ship. No matter in what storm you are caught, you are well equipped to deal with the situation. You may panic, and for that panic or stress, you may seek out help from the lighthouse. But the lighthouse is not giving you anything more than only, direction or the empowerment, the feeling of I am adequate. So you already have everything with you. And hence, I'm saying that we had set out actually for this to become a parent support group or a mother support group, but this has actually grown to become something more than only mothers. I'm sure we've all been, even we have grown, even I have grown. And I have realized, like Parul said, we have all shifted, we have all made the shift. So we are the captain of our ships and we are equipped.
Thank you. So before I call in Srinath, any of you want to share anything? All of our participants, please open up 1 minute each so that I don't delay your closing time. Anyone who's not spoken so far? I can see everybody.
Yeah.
Yes, please come on. Who's speaking? I'm sorry, I'm not able to see.
Aruna.
Oh, Shilpa. Yes, Shilpa.
Yeah, sorry, I'm in office, so I can't keep this on.
That's okay, Shilpa.
Yeah. I want to tell. I'm going to write also today evening, and I'm going to share with you all. I thoroughly enjoyed so many things I never knew. That you did that exercise that in your hands and outside your hand. That I made it due to so many of my friends, my office staff, and they all thoroughly enjoyed. They all started thinking, oh, this way we can never think. This way we have never imagined that we have to think it this way also. That exercise really helped, and I started that with my staff that morning when we have a meeting. Everyone has to thank something what they did it the previous day, so what they are thankful for. So they all, when they start thanking in the morning, the whole day goes very good, and they all feel really happy about it. So I wanted to really thank you, Anaga, Parul, and Srinath sir, that these things, small things, I think which we have forgotten, or sometimes, we don't realize, but it has really helped us in every way to be a better human, to sail our boat in a proper direction wherever we are sailing.
Thank you, Shilpa.
No, it really helped. I wanted to share more things. So I was thinking, but since morning, in office, so many things were going on. So I said, okay, let me at least. So I was listening the whole thing, really nice, enjoying it thoroughly. So whenever you all, and I'm one of the oldest parenting this one, with you and Pankaj, no? Yeah, you are very, very young. We all are grannies, so don't worry, and mother-in-laws. With Aruna, every age doesn't matter as long as you enjoy, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Age is no
Yes.
bar.
You're no bar.
You're not having any alcohol, so age is no bar.
Yeah, yeah. And every, you know, I am there with, I've seen her in every stages and I always enjoyed, you know, whatever she did or whatever. I keep her watching also. I learned so many new things, you know, from her. So it's really a nice thing. Yeah, she's my mentor. You can say mentor, sister, whatever you want to tell, best friend. Anything happens, I call her. She's my like SOS. Kuch bhi hai, ask Karuna and Jagdish bhai what to do. Like that.
That is your love for us. That's all.
No. Thank you. You are always there, yeah, and you help it, and you tell me, guide me in such a way that it was always helping. So yeah, Anaga and Parul really thoroughly enjoyed, you know, and the way in which they both explain, I can never think I can explain it such a nice way. I'm very impatient that way. One line, if it's okay, then fine. Not like that.
I do agree with that. The way step by step they explain, that's really amazing.
Yeah, very nicely they explain. Yes. And seeing you also, Sita, makes us all, your smile is too good. Yeah.
Oh, no, ma'am. Thank you.
No, so good. Yeah, seeing everyone. I don't want to miss only, but sometimes something happens, so I have to. But otherwise, I enjoy, you know, listening to everyone. That's really nice.
So sweet.
My extended family now, this scope with the hope that this family.
So any of these type of groups should become an extended family in some way, because you don't need to, you can make friends within the group, you know, with people maybe who have similar viewpoints or whatever, you know, when you are interacting already, you would have felt that, oh, you know, this person is similar in situations like me, or this person is little different. So you can reach out to anybody, because each one is a guiding light and a helping hand. So anyone else wants to say something, or we'll get Srinath to do a little meditation for us?
I just have one thing to add, Aruna.
Yes, yeah.
Anaga mentioned something about negative thinking, right? I couldn't catch that properly.
Negative bias.
Negative?
Bias.
Sorry. Negative bias. So during this pandemic, this is my experience, and I wish to share it with everybody if it could help anyone. You know, I made a conscious decision to avoid a certain kind of people, because I realized during the pandemic, when you're reaching out, you know, family or friends, there were a couple of people who had negative thinking. And once I started speaking to them, even that reflected on me. You know, it just passed on. It was very contagious. So it kept coming into my head as well. So what I did was, I made it a point, first thing in the morning and last thing in the night, I will not talk or call those kind of people who will have this kind of negative thoughts, because that makes you think and that makes you sleep. And then, you know, you keep having this recurring thoughts. So I did one, I just took a leaf out of that negative bias and extended it slightly more. I don't know whether it will connect. But so sometimes people, when they're too negative, they pass their negativity on. And at a time like this, it really brings some people down.
You're right. This is like what we meant about the other boats. So you have to choose which boats you want to interact.
Yes, the other boats.
Yes, the other boats, because some of them may be pulling you in the wrong direction. So Srinath sir, you want to say anything?
Yeah, I want to share my experience with you, ma'am.
Okay.
So that palm exercise, one of my friend, which is our friends group, is he's a Modi's fan. So our Prime Minister Modi's fan.
Okay.
Whatever in the group anti-Modi any videos or any he will suddenly he will respond on that video, or he want to avoid that. But I make him do that palm exercise and make all that list, and make him do. After that, he is not responding on that any messages, madam.
Okay.
So he told that he's out of he's feeling very light and calm after he's thinking that it is not in my hand.
Wonderful. Wonderful. This is a very straightforward example.
So it's a true example. It helps very much, and we need this group, and we need this skills to sharpen our mind and make our to focus on the positive direction. So we need so this group is very important because in this pandemic situation, so after hearing all the experiences, we feel very light, so that our experience is not much, so we feel that it is not what we experience is not very difficult. So we need this group, and we need this type of coping skills. Still, continue. Correct.
I was thinking that we could meet once a month if the participants are interested, and on a Saturday, means we could discuss which Saturday we can do all that, and just meet up for an hour once a month or once every alternate month. One alternate month, it will fizzle out. Once a month, maybe initially, just to see how everybody is coping, what else they have learned, because everybody will be learning from various avenues, or anybody has anything interesting to share. And probably when we keep doing this, we are going to reach a time in the next few months when this is all going to be past history, this COVID and everything. Yes, it's going to take time. I'm not saying it's going to happen in the next 2-3 months, but there is going to be light at the end of the tunnel. So when we see that this journey through the tunnel, we managed well, and we are all able to see the light at the end of the tunnel, we are all going to be doing everything we wish to do. Like Parul had said, I would love to go out and have a coffee with my friend. That's exactly what I would love to do, Parul. Or I would love to come to the US because I would love to see my daughter and grandson. So obviously all of us have our own wishes in head. So meeting once a month and coming closer to the end of the tunnel will make us all feel really good. So if you folks are keen, we could do that. That we can discuss on the chat box. And we are on which Saturday is this, Parul? What Saturday is this? Second Saturday?
Second Saturday, ma'am. Second Saturday.
Just for making it simple, second Saturday of every month, 3:30, we could meet. I'm just saying this not so that we don't spend too much time thinking on it. But this is a Saturday, second Saturday of every month. We will just mark it on our calendars. We meet for an hour and we could share something. Parul, Anaga will always have something beautiful to share with us. I will also try and read up something which can be interesting, since I'm not a psychologist, I'm a doctor. But anyway, whatever, and we could all share and learn and probably improve our skills. So anyone else who's there, who's not spoken? I'm sorry, but I'm not able to see everybody. Anyone would like to speak up who's not spoken? Punya, are you there? Her video audio is off, so I don't know if she's there. Can't make out actually. Who's that? Mitali?
Mitali, yeah.
Yes, Mitali.
So, Auntie, I feel like these sessions have been like so enriching. Like somebody, like especially youngsters like me and my age group, all like we couldn't adapt so well to being locked up at home because we were so used to moving out and about and traveling and meeting friends and all of this. So this was so needed for us. Like these tools, these life skills, probably they helped us and equipped us for like tougher situations ahead. And for that, I'm so thankful because even sir, the yoga techniques that you taught us, the sitting Surya Namaskar and all of that, that even if like somebody is unwell and they want to still take the benefit of a Surya Namaskar, they can sit on the chair and they do it. So all of those were like valuable things that we can add to our survival kit, because this pandemic has like it was so unexpected. Nobody would have ever believed if someone told them last year this time that, oh, you know what, you're going to be locked at home. Not last year, sorry, 2-3 years ago.
Years back.
So it's like time, the whole dimension of time was sort of at a standstill, and now this has equipped us to go back to life, and when we are out and about again, we are stronger, we're more resilient. So all these skills are going to help us in coping with so many of the situations that are coming ahead for us. So thank you so much, all of the team and the doctors that have conducted these sessions. Aruna auntie, thank you. And yeah, I mean, I think we should meet every second Saturday of the month. It's great for all of us.
Perfect. Anyone else left out? Anyone? Because I don't want to. I can't really see. I think my sister has left. She was having some internet issues, she said. Okay. So, sorry, would you want to take us through a 2-3 minute? Yes, Sita?
Ma'am, I wanted to read few lines.
Okay.
I had written, yeah, I'll not take more than a minute, ma'am.
No problem.
This is for all our group. I have been strolling from website to website, looking for guidance at my bedside. From the cosmic popped up Anaga into my life when I had gone to her for help. She introduced me into this strange group. Initially, I was completely skeptical. Gradually, things turned beautiful. Every participant was a life blog for me. Their experiences were special to see. The sessions were beautifully planned, gradually upgrading from easy to advanced. There's no match to Parul's explanation style, nor Anagha's enchanted smile. Aruna ma'am's affection is showered all through the duration. I will always remember Shilpa ma'am's spirit and her granddaughter's smile on 16th. I could connect to Jyoti, Shantala, Ritu, and every participant's experiences. With respect followed Dr. Abhinav's suggestions and loved Srinath sir's yoga postures. And finally, every tool that was taught to us has changed the process of my thought. Thank you, ma'am.
Beautiful.
Thank you. So beautiful.
Thank you so much, Sita.
Thank you. Lovely. So should we do a few minutes of mindfulness with sir before we close?
Yes.
All okay? Everyone? Okay.
Yeah. Let's start. Sit comfortably. Try to remain straight. Gently close your eyes. Concentrate on your breathing. Just observe the way you breathe. Observe the way the heart beats. Observe the way you're sitting. Just visualize all the things around yourself. The chair or the carpet which you are sitting, the furniture, the chairs, the photos, the paintings, colors on the wall, the ceiling, idols, dolls, teddy bears, doors, windows, curtains, the switches, switchboard, fan, AC, the TV, laptop, all the electronic gadgets. Just visualize all the things around us. The color of the floor, observe the chair or the carpet which you are sitting. Observe the clothes which you are wearing. Feel the sense of touch. Visualize the color of the clothes. Observe the attraction between the body and the floor. Visualize the jewelry which you are wearing, the toe rings, anklets, rings, finger rings, studs, nose pins. Just try to visualize and feel. Observe the way the heart beats. Observe your breathing. And gently bring your palms together to Namaskara Sthiti. Rub your palms together.
Place the palms around the eyeballs. Feel the warmth and gently bring down the hand. Open your eyes. Dhanyavad.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. So I think we have come to today's to the end of today's program, and I want to thank each and every one of you, every participant here, for being here every Saturday and being a part of this program. And there are no words are not enough to thank people like Parul and Anaga and Srinath sir for making this really a very nice program. Thank you, Anaga, Parul, Srinath.
It's my pleasure, madam.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for making the part of this.
My pleasure. No, we enjoy doing yoga with you. So
Yeah.
I thought, let me bring that experience to everyone. The whole idea is, as far as I am concerned, it has never been a chore or, difficult for us to do yoga on any day with sir, because he is so amazing that he, as I told you, he gauges our mood and takes us through yoga accordingly. That is what is most interesting about him. And we do it as a couple generally, both of us. And nowadays, because I'm having a little bit of back issues, I can't do a whole lot of it. So I join in halfway through and continue a little later. But I would always understand he's looking at the dynamics of us as a couple and dynamics of each one of us individually when he would take us through yoga, and especially you would see the music we're listening to and stuff like that. So it's always been easy and very enjoyable to do yoga with him. We're doing it for 10 years with you, sir.
Almost 13 to 14 years.
Okay, I just randomly said 10. And there were times, maybe even 2 years back, when we did, what is that? 100 and how many Surya Namaskars with you, sir?
108.
Surya Namaskars on some particular festival he would make us do.
Ratha Saptami, madam.
Ratha Saptami, some day we have done 108 Surya Namaskars. I can't do all that now, but this was even as back as 3 years ago. We have done this for 2-3 years, we did it. So it's just good to find somebody with whom you are, you can sync, because then your relationship to do these type of activities goes for a longer time. Like now, Parul is not in India, but we are not going to leave her. Wherever she is. What do you say, Anaga? Correct, no?
Of course, whatever time zone it is, we will wake her up from
No choice.
the night also, no choice.
Late night to suit her morning. At her daytime. But the point is, it is just that it's interesting to work with people with whom you sort of, what would you call that?
Frequency matches.
Yeah.
Gel together.
Gel together, because then you are able to perform better. And there is no judging then, I think it becomes very nice because there's no question of judging. Nobody judges anyone. We're all just here to learn something, and we're all just here to help each other. So it's been a wonderful journey, and I am very thankful for it. So I think we'll meet every second Saturday for an hour. Those who are interested, I'll put it up on the group. Today I've done a recording of the session. I'll edit it a little bit. The unwanted parts I'll remove. I will sit with Jagdish and do that sometime in the next 2 days. And I'll put it on the group for those who had missed it. So I think that should be fine. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Enjoyed thoroughly. Bye.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anaga and Parul. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. See you. Doctor, you can stop recording.
Yeah, now I'll stop recording. I don't even know where that button is. Here, I found it.